The applause started before my father could say a word. My husband, Grant Mercer, stood beneath the ballroom lights with a champagne glass raised. "Robert Sutton has chosen me to lead this company," he announced. "Tonight, he passes the torch." 200 guests turned toward my father. He did not clap. He sat beside me, pale and silent, with one hand gripping the edge of the table. Grant smiled as if Sutton Industrial already belonged to him. Then he looked at me. He expected me to stand. Instead, I reached beneath my chair and lifted a red audit file. His smile disappeared. "Before I tell you what happened next, welcome to Core Revenge Tales. If you believe betrayal deserves consequences, subscribe and tell us where you are watching from." My name is Natalie Sutton. I was 34 years old that night. I had worked at my father's company for 12 years and served as its chief financial officer. Grant was my husband. He was also the man trying to steal everything my father had built. Dad started Sutton Industrial Supply in a rented garage. He had 2 employees, 1 truck, and a second-hand desk that leaned to one side. By the time I finished college, the company supplied construction materials across 4 states. I expected Dad to give me a comfortable office. He gave me a warehouse vest. For 2 years, I counted inventory, checked damaged shipments, and learned why one missing pallet could delay an entire project. Later, I moved into purchasing, then accounting. I earned the position of Chief Financial Officer, one department at a time. Grant joined the company 6 years after I did. He was a corporate sales consultant with perfect manners and an expensive Navy suit. He remembered names. He listened without checking his phone. When Dad told the same warehouse story twice, Grant laughed both times. I mistook attention for character. We married 11 months after meeting. Dad hired him as Director of Business Development. Grant brought in new clients and negotiated several strong contracts. Employees liked him. Board members trusted him. So did I. The first change seemed harmless. Grant suggested I reduce my hours. "We spend every day inside that building," he said. "I want a wife, not another executive." I thought he was asking for balance. He was asking me to step aside. When I refused, meetings began disappearing from my calendar. Contracts were approved while I visited warehouses. Financial reports that once came through my office went directly to Grant. Whenever I questioned him, he smiled. "You don't need to control everything because your name is Sutton. I review the numbers because I'm the CFO. The board doesn't see you as a leader, Natalie." He said it softly. That made it hurt more. His mother, Lorraine, was less careful. At family dinners, she called Grant my father's natural successor. She praised my accounting skills, then explained why they were not enough. "Natalie understands spreadsheets," she once told our guests. "Grant understands people." Everyone laughed politely. I looked at my husband. He lifted his wine and said nothing. 18 months before the retirement dinner, Dad suffered a mild heart attack. I found him in his office, one hand pressed against his chest. At the hospital, he apologized for frightening me. That was my father. Even in pain, he worried about everyone else. His doctor ordered him to reduce his workload. Grant volunteered to supervise daily operations before Dad had even returned home. He arrived early. He stayed late. He sent Dad thoughtful reports and brought my mother groceries. To everyone else, he looked devoted. To me, he looked ready. 3 months later, I found the first number that did not belong. Transportation costs had risen 22%. Shipping volume had increased less than 3. The difference came from Meridian Freight Solutions, a company Grant had personally selected. I compared Meridian's invoices with our warehouse records. One delivery had been billed twice. Then another. 6 shipments included routes our trucks had never traveled. 3 invoices charged us for overnight storage at a facility none of our managers recognized. I printed the records and carried them home. Grant was in the kitchen, opening a bottle of wine. "I need Meridian's original bid documents," I said. He did not turn around. "Why?" "Their charges don't match our shipping logs." "Then your team made a mistake." "My team didn't create their invoices." He set the bottle down. "You've been waiting for one of my contracts to fail. I'm asking for documents." "No. You're trying to embarrass me." There it was. Not confusion, Not concern. Fear. The next morning, Grant said his assistant had misplaced the bids. Meridian's ownership disclosure was also missing. I stopped asking. Then I started looking. I reviewed every vendor Grant had approved during Dad's recovery. Meridian was not alone. A consulting company received almost $400,000 for a market study nobody had seen. An equipment supplier charged 30% above market value. A property company collected rent for warehouse space we had never used. All 4 companies listed the same registered agent, Theodore Vance, Grant's college roommate. I wanted to confront him that night. I wanted to throw every invoice across our dining table and demand the truth. But anger would warn him. Proof would stop him. So I apologized. I told Grant that Dad's illness had made me anxious. I said I trusted his judgment. I even agreed to the retirement dinner he had been planning. His shoulders relaxed. "I knew you'd come around," he said. Then he kissed my forehead. I stood there after he left, feeling colder than I had during any argument. Grant did not think we had solved a problem. He thought he had put me back in my place. The following week, I hired Evelyn Shaw, an independent forensic auditor. She had never worked with our company or any board member. We met on Saturday mornings above a dental clinic across town. I brought authorized copies of vendor payments, internal approvals, company emails, and warehouse logs. For 4 months, Evelyn followed the money. Every meeting gave us something new. Meridian was owned through 2 holding companies. The final beneficiary was Lorraine. The consulting firm belonged to Grant's cousin. The equipment supplier returned 8% of every inflated purchase to a company controlled by Grant. Together, they had taken more than $2.7 million. I thought that was the whole betrayal. It was only the beginning. Our company archive contained emails Grant had sent through his corporate account. Evelyn found messages between him, Lorraine, and 2 board members. They were planning a private investment deal after Dad retired. First, Grant would become chief executive. Then his 2 allies would approve a false valuation of Sutton Industrial. An outside group would purchase a controlling interest for far less than the company was worth. Grant would receive equity in the new company. Lorraine would keep her contracts. Dad and I would lose control of our own shares. One email was only 3 lines. Lorraine had written, "What if Natalie refuses to sign?" Grant answered, "She won't." Then he added, "Natalie always follows me." I read that sentence again and again. For years, I had defended him. I had mistaken his ambition for loyalty. I had explained away every insult because admitting the truth felt worse. He knew that. He had built his plan around it. I printed the email and placed it inside a red file. Telling Dad was harder than discovering the theft. I went to his house on Sunday morning. He was making coffee when I placed the file on his kitchen table. "Is this about Grant?" he asked. I nodded. Dad sat down. I showed him the duplicate invoices, the shell companies, and the kickbacks. Then I showed him the plan to sell control of Sutton Industrial. He read Grant's email last. For a long moment, he said nothing. His eyes moved toward an old photograph on the wall. It showed Dad outside the first warehouse, smiling beside that single delivery truck. "I trusted him because you trusted him," he said. My throat tightened. "I know. I'm sorry." Dad reached across the table and covered my hand. "I'm not blaming you." That nearly broke me. He looked at the red file again. "Does Grant know?" "No." "Good. Then we let him believe he won." That afternoon, Dad called the company's outside attorney. We preserved the archived emails and vendor records. We protected payroll. We restricted large transfers and scheduled a special shareholder meeting for the afternoon of the retirement dinner. Dad and I controlled 71% of the voting shares. Grant had influence. We had authority. We did not cancel the dinner. Dad told Grant he was too tired for transition meetings. He promised to sign the final documents at the event. Grant became careless. He chose Dad's office before Dad had left it. He ordered a new executive desk with company money. Lorraine changed the invitations to call the evening a leadership transition celebration. 2 days before the dinner, Grant placed papers beside my breakfast plate. "Routine support documents," he said. Page 11 gave him voting control over my shares for 5 years. I closed the folder. I'll sign after Dad announces his decision. Grant's jaw tightened. We're married. Why are you treating me like an enemy? I looked at the man I had trusted for 6 years. I didn't say you were. You didn't have to. He left without kissing me goodbye. That night, I moved my jewelry and personal records to Dad's house. I changed every password Grant had no legal right to use. Then I called a divorce attorney. By Saturday evening, my marriage was finished. Grant simply had not heard the news. More than 200 people filled the ballroom. Photographs of Dad's first trucks stood near the stage. Longtime warehouse employees sat beside suppliers and local business leaders. Lorraine occupied the front table with Grant's 2 bored allies. Halfway through dinner, Grant walked to the microphone. Dad had not introduced him. That did not stop him. Grant spoke about sacrifice, legacy, and the future. He never mentioned my 12 years at the company. Then he raised his glass. Robert Sutton has chosen me as the next chief executive. Lorraine stood first. The applause spread across the room. Dad remained seated. So did I. Grant looked at me and forced a smile. None of this would be possible without my wife, Natalie. He held out his hand. I lifted the red file instead. The room slowly went quiet as I walked toward the stage. Grant covered the microphone. What are you doing? Giving the shareholders the information you forgot. Lorraine stood. This is neither the time nor the place. I faced her. You helped choose both. I opened the file. The first document showed Meridian's duplicate charges. The second identified Lorraine as its owner. Someone near the front whispered her name. Grant stepped closer. Natalie, stop. I showed the consulting payments to his cousin. Then I displayed the equipment invoices, and the payments returned to Grant's company. Lorraine called everything a lie. Evelyn rose from a rear table. She introduced herself, named her auditing firm, and confirmed every figure. One board member pushed back his chair. 2 company attorneys waited near the ballroom doors. He sat down again. Grant turned toward Dad. You approved this humiliation. Dad rose slowly. No, Grant. You created it. Grant faced the guests. This is a marital dispute. My wife is emotional because my promotion changes her position. I had been waiting for that sentence. I removed the archived email. I read the plan to undervalue the company. I read how Grant would transfer control and receive equity. Then I read his final line. Natalie always follows me. Grant went pale. I placed the email beside the microphone. You were right about one thing. My position has changed. Dad's attorney stepped onto the stage. At the afternoon shareholder meeting, Grant had been removed from every management role. His account access was revoked. The 2 directors involved in the deal were suspended. Every payment to their connected companies had been frozen. Grant stared at Dad. You can't run this company without me. Dad looked at me. I don't intend to. He named me acting president. For 1 second, the ballroom was silent. Then a warehouse supervisor stood. Another employee joined him. The applause began with people who had watched me count inventory years earlier. It moved through the room until everyone was standing except Grant, Lorraine, and his 2 allies. Lorraine rushed toward the stage. You destroyed your husband